Liurnia of the Lakes is a zone overflowing with story, dungeons, and of course those damn giant crayfish. However, if you take the time to scour its shores, you'll find there's a ton of secrets and some amazing weapons to be found, even without stepping foot inside either of its legacy dungeons. Hello again, fellow Tarnished. I'm StoneBear13. I know it's been a bit, but it's time to get into my top 5 weapons found in Liurnia. Starting off as a weapon I've actually mentioned in a previous video, the Crystal Staff. This glintstone staff will give a 10% damage boost to the Crystallian sorceries Crystal Release, Shattering Crystal, and Crystal Torrent. Although it requires 48 intelligence to wield, this is the third highest sorcery scaling pure intelligence staff in the game, falling just behind the Carrion Royal Scepter by less than 2% when fully upgraded and at 80 intelligence. To find this for yourself, you'll want to head to the Academy Crystal Cave, to the southeast of the Crystalline Woods Site of Grace, where you'll have to spend a stone sword key to enter. Once inside, progress beyond the room with the crystals until you open a wooden door. Inside will be a couple of glintstone sorcerers, as well as a battle mage, who will love using big spells in that tiny room. Once cleared, disable the illusory wall to the west, and up the path, inside a chest, will be the Crystal Staff. The next weapon can be found at the King's Realm Ruins, hidden below an illusory floor blocking a boss fight. Here, you'll face a Royal Revenant in some very tight quarters. Fell the Revenant, open the door across from where you entered, and loot the chest for the Frozen Needle. This thrusting sword may seem quite average on paper, but its passive frostbite buildup of 60 per strike is enough to gain attention. And with stat requirements of 11 strength and 18 dexterity, it's accessible to most builds. Aside from innate status effect buildup, this icy weapon boasts a unique heavy attack that shoots its blade out as a projectile, giving you some serious range to apply frostbite. Like most thrusting swords, this can also perform a feint attack, although its range is notably increased by the projectile blade, and inputting a light attack after will follow up with a nice lunge. The Frozen Needle comes with the weapon skill Impaling Thrust, which allows you to bypass shields and armor when used, enabling it to deal heavy poise damage and proc frostbite very quickly and consistently. The number 3 pick is one for our strength users, and it can provide some much desired utility. This is the Watchdog Staff, and it's tied for the second highest base damage of all colossal weapons. Wielding this will require 34 strength and 10 dexterity. Its weapon skill, Sorcery of the Crozier, summons 8 glintstone projectiles around you that seek your target and deal pure magic damage. These projectiles can cover a long distance, and the utility of having magic damage available can make a large difference in many situations. While the footage that I have only shows this skill at the base weapon level, when fully upgraded, this weapon skill can deal almost 1400 base damage. And as of patch 1.07, this is now properly boosted by the Warrior Jar Shard and the Shard of Alexander, allowing it to deal even more than that. To find this for yourself, you'll want to head to the Road's End Catacombs, found around a lower cliffside to the southwest of the Revenger's Shack. From the Site of Grace, progress until you enter the room with the boss door lever. Go down to the lowest level in this room and deactivate the illusory wall beside the stairs. In the back corner, on a corpse, you'll find this colossal weapon. Our weapon at number 2 is extremely popular and a weapon of choice for many speedrunners and challenge runners alike, the Icerider Hatchet. Found in a chest to the southeast of the Temple Quarter Site of Grace, this easy pickup is a major standout for many reasons. It's very accessible with low stat requirements of 11 strength and 16 dexterity. It scales very well with dexterity, and it passively deals 65 frostbite buildup per strike. Its weapon skill is Hoarfrost Stomp, which extends your icy reach to a large cone in front of you for only 10 FP per cast. Having a very fast startup, this ability will deal 70 initial frostbite buildup, and an additional 110 when the icicles explode. While its moveset is rather generic, this weapon utilizes the light axe attack speed, swinging almost 50% faster than most other axes. And although not stated on the weapon itself, the Icerider Hatchet also deals increased damage to dragons, at about 20% for most and 10% for ancient dragons. Having all of these unique effects, I highly recommend this weapon for everyone to try out. Before I move on to my number one weapon in Liurnia of the Lakes, I do have two honorable mentions. First, found within the cliff bottom catacombs, on a corpse at a dead end, you can loot the Scythe. This generic Reaper may seem like an odd choice, but as Reapers go, this is probably the best. Requiring 14 strength and 14 dexterity, this may not deal the highest damage of its weapon type, but it boasts the highest stat scaling and the longest reach. Not only that, it can be infused with Ashes of War and has a unique fully charged heavy attack that strikes twice, allowing for some really fast status effect buildups. My second honorable mention is another really popular weapon, Vikes' War Spear. Looted from Vike once he's defeated at the Church of Inhibition, it will require 16 strength, 20 dexterity, and 18 faith to wield. This great spear causes 65 madness buildup each hit, and also deals partial fire damage. Its weapon skill, Frenzy Flame Thrust, deals fire damage in a large area, afflicting the user and any enemies hit with madness buildup. Sadly, with almost every single boss being immune to madness buildup, Vikes' War Spear can't reach its fullest potential outside of PvP, and that's why it finds itself demoted to an honorable mention. As for the number one weapon found in Liurnia of the Lakes, I've chosen the Tree Spear. Requiring 15 strength, 22 dexterity, and 18 faith, this great spear very well may be the best in the game, as its utility is so vast and unique. When it comes to the weapon skill, it has Sacred Order, which gives a 60-second buff, increasing damage by 10%, and damage done to undead by 100%, also preventing their revive. This great spear also has a unique charged heavy attack that hits twice in quick succession, allowing for a follow-up input for 2 more fast strikes. Now, why is this stabby tree branch with a locked weapon skill the number one weapon? That's because the Tree Spear can be buffed by spells. This means that the total damage output of this weapon can be boosted based on the user's incantation or sorcery scaling stat. For example, applying the Scholar's Armament buff to the Tree Spear will buff it with magic damage, relative to the sorcery scaling stat of the staff the spell was cast with. The same is also true to all incantations and the seal used to cast them. Utilizing Poison Armament, Electrify Armament, Order's Blade, Blood Flame Blade, and Black Flame Blade, the Tree Spear is capable of adapting its damage output to any situation you find yourself in, and is a must-have weapon for any faith user. To find the Tree Spear, you'll have to head to the southeastern corner of the zone, following the road due south from the Liurnia Highway South Site of Grace. At the end of the road, you'll find a stray giant and a cart. Within the chest at the back of the cart will be the Tree Spear. And that's my top 5 weapons available in Liurnia of the Lakes. Did I leave any weapons out that you would have included? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you can stay up to date on all of my upcoming Elden Ring content. Once again, I'm StoneBear13. And thanks for watching.